Good afternoon, Belize. I'm Misana Cayetano, and it's time for your midday check-in with News 5. Here are the top stories to keep you in the loop. Did the 3 Moroccan-American tourists found dead in a hotel room in San Pedro die of carbon monoxide poisoning? Jaheim Castillo is acquitted of the 2018 murder of Cyril Jones in San Pedro. And the OAS praises Belize's peaceful and democratic process following the general election. These stories and more are coming up in just 1 minute.
Veracidad, imparcialidad.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización.
Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver dos grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 Semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
Welcome back. While the National Fire Service initially reported no trace of carbon monoxide in the hotel room where 3 American women were found dead in San Pedro last month, new information suggests otherwise. According to dailymail.com, a second autopsy is being conducted in Massachusetts, with results expected in about a month. A source close to one of the families told dailymail.com that a preliminary report indicated the fatal fluid buildup in their lungs was due to carbon monoxide poisoning. The report also mentioned that investigators found other non-fatal incidents of carbon monoxide poisoning at the Royal Cajal and have contacted at least 1 other American victim. The women, 23-year-old Kautar Nakad, 24-year-old Iman Mala, and 26-year-old Wafe El Arar, were discovered dead in their room by staff at the Royal Cajal Beach Resort on February 22nd. Autopsies in Belize concluded that they died from acute pulmonary edema, a fluid buildup in the lungs. Fire Chief Colin Gillett stated that no carbon monoxide was detected during their tests in the room. Meanwhile, an email with the resort's letterhead circulated on March 7th informed guests of a temporary closure and offered refunds for their deposits. News 5 is keeping an eye on this story and will provide updates from the National Forensics Laboratory on further testing at the resort following the women's deaths. Jaheim Castillo, now 23, was just 16 in 2018 when he was accused of murdering 37-year-old Cyril Gladstone Jones, a father of 2 who was tragically shot and killed at his doorsteps in front of his family. Castillo has been acquitted of murder charges. Police had identified him based on the account of a contractor who didn't witness the shooting but claimed the shooter fired at him shortly after Jones's murder. Castillo walked free after his attorney's no-case submission was upheld by the judge, but he remains in Belize Central Prison for another offense he was convicted of in 2024. The acquittal came from Justice Candice Nanton, who agreed with attorney O.J. Elrington's argument that the prosecution's case was weak.
The prosecution began this case by essentially making an application for the witness statement of essentially one of the witnesses to be admitted in because they claimed that they were in fear. And essentially, the court ruled that that evidence could have been admitted without the witness coming to court. However, subsequent to that, 2 other witnesses were brought by the prosecution, and at the end of that, we made a submission of that there was no case to answer. Essentially, we submitted that the evidence was so slender, was so tenuous, that no jury could safely convict on it. And the judge upheld that because, the time in which the witness claimed they had the shooter in view, the lighting conditions, the distance that they were from it, the contrasting evidence between the witnesses presented by the prosecution itself was contradicting in terms of their description of the shooter.
The Organization of American States, OAS, Electoral Observation Mission has been giving a big thumbs up to Belize's 2025 general elections, praising their peaceful and transparent execution. Chief of Mission, Mary Carmen Plata, issued a statement commending Belizean voters for their enthusiastic participation in the March 12th polls and applauding the electoral authorities for smoothly running the process.
People of Belize, as head of the OAS Electoral Observation Mission, I extend my heartfelt congratulations on your enthusiastic participation in the general elections held on Wednesday, March 12. We also commend the electoral authorities for the peaceful and successful conduct of the 2025 general elections. Our mission, comprised of 12 experts and observers from 7 different countries, was present in 12 of the 29 electoral divisions holding elections on Election Day. We diligently followed the process from the opening of the polling stations through the secure transfer of ballot boxes to the counting stations, the meticulous tabulation of ballots, and the transparent transmission of results. Through our work, we engaged in constructive dialogues with electoral authorities, government officials, political parties and candidates, and civil society actors. This allowed us to gather diverse perspectives on the organization of the elections and the overall electoral framework. We take this opportunity to congratulate all elected and re-elected members of the National Assembly of Belize. Furthermore, we welcome Prime Minister Briceño's commitment to implementing the recommendations of the mission, particularly addressing the redrawing of electoral boundaries early in his new term. We also appreciate his openness to exploring options for campaign finance legislation that are relevant and implementable within the Belizean political and social context. Based on our observations, we present today a series of findings and recommendations. We sincerely hope that these will contribute to strengthening future electoral processes and ultimately democracy in this nation. The mission expresses its gratitude to the government of Belize, particularly the Office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Elections and Boundaries Commission, and the Elections and Boundaries Department. We especially thank all stakeholders with whom we met for their willingness to share their valuable insights and relevant information on various aspects of the electoral process.
The 2025 general elections are over, and Belize has chosen to keep the People's United Party in power for another 5 years. This was also the case in Belize Rural South, where PUP's Andre Perez emerged victorious. The islands of San Pedro and Key Cocker saw a voter turnout of 56.82%, with nearly 60% of those votes going to Perez. We were on the scene to capture the moment the results were announced.
Mr. Abner Bacab received 159 votes. Mr. Manuel Heredia Jr. received 1,898 votes. Mr. Mahmoud Laga received 110 votes, and Mr. Andre Perez received 3,418 votes. And so I'd just like to officially declare that Mr. Andre Perez has been elected by you all as the area representative for Belize Rural South.
First of all, I want to thank everyone, the voters of Belize Rural South, but I also want to thank all those who have been working in the machinery all day, and not for many months now, right? The entire election machinery. I want to thank my family as well for the support that they give to me, right? But for the moment right now, it's that I'm humbled. The work has been done in the past 4 years. There's much more work to do ahead in the next 5 years. The plan is set for Plan Belize 2.0. I'm committed, I'm inspired, I am motivated, and I also, more than anything else, I'm humbled for the people of Belize, South, Kikaka, and San Pedro for giving me that opportunity to serve them a second time and be re-elected. I'm truly grateful.
That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit channel5belize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes on Monday morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.